In this video, I want to tell you about the benefits of oat straw, which is an herb that comes from the plant that's called Avena Sativa. So you may know this as an herb called Avena Sativa or oat straw. We also have a homeopathic remedy and it's called by the plant name Avena Sativa. So I'm very familiar because I've used this as a homeopathic remedy in my practice many times. And as always, the homeopathic uses often match what they use it for herbally. So let's talk about all the wonderful benefits and the uses of oat straw. The first one is anxiety. I would say in the herbal world, Avena Sativa or oat straw is kind of like the herbal Valium. It's one of many plants that help calm the nervous system, but it's a good one. And especially when it's combined with any of these other symptoms that you may have. And then you may see like, okay, this would be a good one for me because I have 3 of those things. But just in general, as an anti-anxiety and calming herb, it's fantastic. Now, whether you take the herb or the homeopathic remedy is something we can talk about later, but they both do the same thing. In my opinion, the homeopathic remedy would have a better effect because homeopathic remedies have been diluted and potentized, and the action of potentization makes it really incredibly powerful, and the diluted process means that you don't get the side effects. So it's really fantastic. Okay, so let's go on to the next benefit of oat straw or Avena Sativa. The second thing that's really amazing about Avena Sativa is to give it when people are coming off of an addiction, whether it's like Vicodin that they took too long in a surgery and they're having a problem and they're addicted, if they're addicted to marijuana or pot and they're trying to come off of it, it's really good. It doesn't matter what the addiction is. When it's a drug addiction, Avena Sativa is an amazing herbal remedy or homeopathic remedy to give to help the person get through that rough period. As you know, detoxing from addiction has a lot of waves and cycles, and if you can keep the nervous system calm, then it helps the person sleep and they don't develop those horrible anxiety disorders that they can get and all those difficult things that can happen when you're coming off a drug. So Avena Sativa is one to think about if you're trying to quit smoking, if you're trying to quit pot, if you're trying to quit drinking, if you're trying to quit even a narcotic like an opioid. This would be a great herb to take. But I always tell you, don't treat yourself. Use a qualified practitioner, whether it's a homeopath or an herbalist or a naturopath, but never take steps into your own hands when you're doing something so serious like coming off of an addiction. All right, the next use. It's really fantastic for migraines. Oh my God, I wish I knew about this when I had my migraines. It's really good for people with migraines, and that's because it calms the whole system in the head and the nervous system down. A lot of headaches are tension headaches, so you can imagine that if it calms the nervous system and relaxes you, then it's going to be something that helps many people with migraines. Not all, but some people with certain headaches it would definitely help. And you know, if it's calming down your nervous system and relaxing you, then of course it's going to be used for insomnia and sleep problems. And that's because when it calms your nervous system down, then you'll sleep better. And there's many herbs and homeopathic remedies that we use for sleep issues, but Avena Sativa is one of the best ones. It's in many of the combination formulas that you'll get with homeopathy. When you go look for some sleep aid, often they put Avena Sativa in there because that's the name we use it as a homeopathic remedy. When you're using it as a herb, it might just say oat straw, but it's the same thing. And by the way, you guys, oat straw comes from the plant Avena Sativa, which is where oats come from, and we know how healthy oats are. My favorite heart doctor, Dr. Esselstyn, he's the famous doctor at the Cleveland Heart Clinic for so many years and did all the president's heart surgeries. That guy will tell you that oats are the #1 heart healthy food. He eats like 3 bowls of them a day. So you can imagine how healthy this herb is if it's coming from that same plant. Okay, what else do we use it for? Well, herbalists have used it in the disease called epilepsy. Now, it's not something you should do on your own, but I know a lot of naturopath and herbalist doctors that have used it to help people with epilepsy. So again, it shows you how it's calming the nervous system. And finally, herbalists give this when people have shingles. Do you know what shingles is? It looks like the chicken pox, and it's super painful, and it follows along the pathway of the nerves. So where all your outbreaks are right along the pathway of the nerves, and it's usually right in this area. I had shingles. It was one of the worst things ever. Mine was right here, and it usually comes after a big stress. But it's so painful, but homeopathy has so much success with shingles. It's really fantastic. I've treated 100 people, I think, with shingles, and I think I never had a failure. It's really, really successful to treat shingles with homeopathy, and it's non-toxic. And shingles is a virus, so you can't really take antibiotics, and there's not really a lot of good antiviral medications. So usually you just have to wait it out, and believe me, that's one you don't want to have to wait out. But really, if you have any of these things, migraines, insomnia, anxiety, stress, any kind of headaches or tension headaches, if you're trying to get off of smoking, if you just have a lot of fatigue, a lot of times people have a lot of fatigue because when they're anxious, it wears them out and they find themselves having like this fatigue all day long. And sometimes Avena Sativa can help them with their fatigue because it just calms everything down. But whether or not you have all of those things, if you just have one of those things like insomnia or anxiety, give it a try. You've got nothing to lose. And whether you take capsules or tincture or the homeopathic pellets, that's up to you. Tincture is usually stronger in comparison to capsules, but a lot of people hate the taste of tinctures and would rather swallow a pill. So that's a personal choice. The homeopathic remedy, I really suggest you should try it. You just either put the pellets on your tongue, but the way I like to do it is just drop a few pellets into a little water like this, and then you stir it around and just use maybe that cup as 3 doses. You just take a sip or a spoon and that's 1 dose, and then stir it around, and you can do that again. When you're ready to make the next batch, you do it the same way. But in my opinion, the homeopathic remedy is even more effective because homeopathic remedies are diluted and potentized, and that makes them super powerful. And because they're diluted, they don't have the side effects. So I would say give that a try. But any way you use Oat Straw or Avena Sativa, you're certainly going to get some relief from it, and you're going to learn the power of this herb. All right, you guys, thanks for watching, and hit that subscribe button if you've learned anything from my channel. I so appreciate each and every one of you guys. I'll see you next time.